Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer (D-N.Y) and other senior Senate Democrats on Monday called on the Treasury and State departments to impose sanctions on Russian individuals found to be meddling in U.S. elections following reports of new interference efforts.
In a letter to Secretary of State Mike Richard Pompeo, President Trump's assault on checks and balances, 5 acts in 4 weeks. The problem with Trump's Middle East peace plan. India rolls out the red carpet for Trump more, and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin. Climate change gets mention in G20 statement. Trump allies assembled lists of officials considered disloyal to President. Report. The Hill's Morning Report. Sanders, Dems zero in on Super Tuesday. More. The Senate Democrats pointed to concerns about reports last week that Russian agents are already interfering in the lead-up to the 2020 U.S. elections in order to boost the campaigns of President Trump. Donald John Trump advisor, Sanders could beat Trump in Texas. Bloomberg rips Sanders over Castro. Comments what coronavirus teaches us for preventing the next big bio threat. More and Democratic candidate Senator Bernie Sanders, IVT.
In light of this information, we urge you to immediately and forcefully impose sanctions on the government of the Russian Federation, any Russian actors determined to be responsible for such interference, and those acting on their behalf or providing material or financial support for these election interference efforts. Schumer and Sens. Sherrod Campbell Brown Trump pick for Fed seat takes bipartisan fire on the money, deficit spikes 25% through January. Mnuchin declines to say why Trump pulled Treasury nominee who oversaw Roger Stone case. Lawmakers trade insults over Trump budget cuts. Mnuchin defends Treasury regulations on GOP tax law. Moore D. Ohio and Bob Menendez D.N.J. wrote.
Brown serves as the top Democrat on the Senate Banking Committee, while Menendez is the top Democrat on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee.
The senators called on Mnuchin and Pompeo to use existing statutory powers to impose sanctions on individuals including Russian President Vladimir Putin and other Russian government officials.
The senators warned that doing anything less than imposing sanctions on those interfering in U.S. elections would be an abdication of your responsibility to protect and defend the U.S. from this serious threat to our national security, and to the integrity of our electoral process.
The State and Treasury departments did not immediately respond to the Hill's request for comment on the letter.
Senate Democrats have pushed hard for passage of legislation over the past years to strengthen U.S. elections against foreign interference, but have been blocked by Republicans, who have cited concerns that the pieces of legislation would federalize elections, multiple times.
Election security has become a major source of concern since the 2016 elections, during which, according to U.S. intelligence agencies and the report compiled by former special counsel Robert Mueller, Russian agents launched a sweeping interference effort designed to favor Trump's campaign.